at you and say, okay, yes sir, yes ma'am, what do you want me to do? That way they relax down and they start to pay attention to you and stuff like that. The horse has two sides to his brain, a left side and a right side, so we got to train both sides. If we do something on the right side, we have to do the same thing on the left side to balance the horse out. And also, he has a reactive side to his brain and a thinking side to his brain. So, in the beginning, most horses, like if they're young colts, green, like Mustangs or whatever, their reactive side is very huge. If anything jumps or whatever, they're reacting, they take off running. Mother Nature says, run, it's dangerous, run. And then think later and eat or whatever once you think you're safe. So they use the reactive side in the beginning. They have a very small thinking side. So for my job is to get that thinking side to grow and get the reactive side to shrink with time. And how we get that done is by moving the horse's feet forwards, backwards, left, and right, and always rewarding the slightest try. So if you get the horse's feet moving, like laterally, it doesn't matter, get the horse's feet moving, kind of make a puzzle out of it, like exercise and stuff like that. So he has to think and pay attention and stuff like that with you and think what he's doing instead of just, doing his own thing. It gets that reactive side to shrink and gets the thinking side to grow. And also that helps relax the horse. So that being said, how we train horses is with pressure and body language, because body language is what they use with each other. Horses use body language with each other. If you watch, they pin their ears back, and go at the other horse. If they're eating their hay or whatever, they want that other horse to move. If that other horse doesn't move, they bare their teeth and come at him, or else they'll turn around and kick him. So they give the horse a chance. They'll look at him like, you better move. If the horse doesn't move, they'll back it up with more energy. Like they'll come at him with their teeth or they'll turn around and kick the horse. So I do the same thing with my horse when I ask him to move. If I wanted him to move his feet, I ask with body language, lean forward, become active. Or like this here, become active with more energy in your body. And then with the pressure, like I used to stick in the beginning, that way it's extension of my arm, I don't get kicked as much because I'm farther away from the horse.
Go a long ways.
You tap with rhythm. The rhythm is very important because that helps the horse learn. If your rhythm and your cues ain't right, ain't consistent, it's hard for him to learn. He's kind of, okay, now you want this here, now you want this here, he doesn't understand. So you gotta be consistent. Every time you ask for something, do it the same way. So ask with a little bit of rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increase it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then increase it more if the horse doesn't move. And as soon as the horse moves, you reward the horse. The reward is what he learns from, that's what you want. If I ask for him to take a step, and I use a little bit of energy, he took a step, I reward him. He understands now that when I reward, that's what he wants. If he puts pressure in front of my face, if I step back, he rewards me. Horses dream and sleep about us leaving them alone. So for him, if he doesn't step back if I ask for him to, I'm going to keep increasing it until he steps back. And as soon as he does, I reward him. So he understands that backing up is the answer if I put energy in front of him. So that being said, we don't want to be a nagging mother, like just a little bit, keep tapping and tapping and tapping, the horse doesn't move. We have to start slowly, increase it until the horse steps, and increase it until the horse moves and get what we want. And we don't want to come in there and just say whack either, because we want to give the horse a chance. If we ask for it softly every time and increase it, eventually all we do have to do is ask softly, because he knows if he doesn't go, we're going to increase it and make him go. So that's how I use body language and energy. So the first exercise that I do is getting control of the horse's power. His hindquarters is his engine, is his power back here. This is his engine back here. That's like the gas pedal and the clutch in a car or a truck or whatever. So if I can disengage that engine, I can get more control over him to where I can take him off balance. If he's standing straight like this here, he has more control over me. He can take off running and drag me around. But if I can teach him and get him to understand how to disengage that hindquarters, I get more control over him and I can disengage that power, that engine. So that's the first exercise that we're going to work on. is getting control of that horse's power, his engine back there. So, in doing these exercises, we also want to be very careful and cautious about our safety spot on the horses. Being safe, me number one, horse number two. So I want the horse to be safe too. I want to be safe first and then the horse. So if I stand here 45 degrees from the shoulder, I'm the safest spot for this exercise. Too far in front for him to kick at me, too far to the side for him to strike at me. You don't want to be too far back, you can kick you if you have a horse that kicks at you, stuff like that. So this is the safest spot for you to be when you start this exercise. Like a foot and a half from the snap. That way you can bend the horse's head and get him to soften and bend his body and get the exercise to do right. We want his front feet to kind of stay in one spot. So kind of drill a hole in that spot, and then we want this left hind foot to step underneath the right hind foot. If he does that, that will disengage him and make him soften up his body. A stiff horse that's always stiff, like this here, you try to guide him around, you can't do much with him. He's way more powerful than you. But if you get that horse's body soft, from side to side, vertically and stuff like that, you have a lot more control over the horse. So with everything that we do, we try to get these horses softer to us, softer to the feel, or softer to our body language and energy and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask him to yield his hindquarters around. I'm going to lean forward with his active body language, tap my sticks with a little bit of rhythm above his hip, and walk with his steps in the hind feet here. So he can make a full 360 degree all the way around and keep that front foot in one spot. Now, it doesn't happen the first day if the horse doesn't understand it. You just look for one step. But this is what we're kind of looking for later on once we get the horse to really understand what we're after. So we just look for one step in the beginning. I'll turn him here so you can see a little bit. Rub first. Always rub with the stick. Because I'm going to use the stick if the horse doesn't move. So I always have to rub it away. I don't want him to be scared of it. I want him to respect it. So I stand here in my spot. I'm going to lean forward. There, he took a step. Reward him. So that's the first thing that we want the horse to do is just take that one little step and then reward. And with that we can get more and more steps. Now he's very in tune with my body language and everything that I asked for, so he's kind of dribbling around here a little bit. And I don't get to work my horses very much, so he's a little bit rusty on this. Lean forward, tap with rhythm. Keep that rhythm going in your stick. Go forward and around. See how he's staying there? I'm not pulling on the lead rope very much. But in the beginning, you have to kind of pull on that lead rope to keep him here with you. Bend his head. If you bend his head, it'll get him to disengage. If his head is straight, a lot of horses will walk around in a circle. We want to get him to bend a little bit and disengage. I'll help you with that. So that's the first exercise. The next one that we want to do is back up. Very important for the horse to understand and respect your space around you. I have a bubble around me. I don't want that horse to come in here in my bubble unless I ask him to come in here. So if I pick my energy level up and ask him to move back, I want him to stay out of my bubble without coming into my bubble, being lazy. So I'm going to skip a few of the fundamentals exercises just because we don't have all year or whatever, or a week to do it in. So I'm just going to kind of skip a few and try to get the basic stuff down so we can understand the basics of it. If we do all the exercises like we should, it's going to take way too long. Every little step. But I do every exercise in the fundamentals when I train my horses. It's very, very important. But today we're just going to kind of hit the basic stuff and try to get you to understand, exactly kind of what we're after here. So this exercise, I'm going to wiggle the rope, and I'm going to lift my chest up, and I'm going to swing the stick back into 1, 2, and then walk towards him. And he needs to stay out of my space. Now, do I have to yield the hindquarters? You look at his hindquarters, and you should lead around and give me 2 eyes. 2 eyes for respect, 2 heels, lack of respect. Pick it up, back it up, walk towards him. Now, if I move a little faster, he should move faster and stay out of my space. So if he's too lazy and too slow and he comes into my space too close, he's going to run into my stick. There. So I just lift my energy up, Now, but I can relax my energy, my body, and become passive, and I should be able to come in here and rub him whenever I want to, and stuff like that. But if I pick it up, look at him, he needs to move. How does the horse learn that? How does he figure that out? It's by repetition and just being consistent with doing the same thing over and over. When you ask, he tries, you reward, and you just get further and further, get better and better about it. That's how he learns the difference between your body language, by becoming active and then passive. That's how he figures it out. The next exercise is yield to forequarters. This one here, I want his hind feet to kind of stand in one spot, and I want this front foot here to cross over the other one. So instead of yielding the hindquarters this time, I want his front end to go away from me. Pushy, dominant horses are always in your space, pushing around and popping and stuff like that. So we want to teach the horse, if I use energy beside his head, neck, and shoulder, he needs to go away from the pressure. He needs to go away from that energy instead of leaning and pushing against me. So it's very important for every horse to learn this or to understand this. So I'll use my stick like this here. I get like a foot away from the snap, hold my stick horizontally across him like this. This way it puts my energy lengthways across his head, neck, and shoulder, and I want his nose to go a little bit, and then I want his shoulder to follow and cross over in the front. So I lean forward, make sure I have a little bit of space between me and him, lean forward, and tap with rhythm. 1, 2, go towards his eye. 2, 3, 4, a little bit of rhythm. Now if he were to move in the beginning, I look for one step and I tap him. I go 1, 2, 3, and then I tap him. But he's moving around, so I just go with him. Lean forward, use energy. Tap over it, there we go. So we look for one step in the beginning, and then from there we can get 2 steps, 3 steps, and go all the way around. But if we get too greedy in the beginning and ask for too much, then they get confused because they're trying, and we don't reward them enough. In the beginning we have to use a lot of exaggeration to get our horses to understand what we want. Later on we don't have to. We can just kind of lean and look and use our finger and have him go. But in the beginning, we have to use exaggeration for them to learn. It's just like kids going to school. You have to explain stuff. You have to exaggerate stuff for them to learn. And eventually they figure it out until they can just refine it and say, hey, go do your chores and I'll go. Instead of like, you better go do your chores. So, that's yield to forequarters. And then, lunging. I want him back there when I lunge him. And when I lunge, I stand right in front of him and I give him a cue to go out that way. My point is I want him to go out that direction or out that direction. I don't walk around the horse to get him to lunge. I want to direct him with his front end to go over there and then drive his hindquarters for impulsion to get him to go around. So I point, kiss, and then swing the stick like this here. 1, 2, 3. And now he's not going, he should. Tap on him. I keep going with it there. He goes and I relax, and I just go with him. Keep him here with me. So I want the horse to kind of be this distance away from me. He's too far away to kick me. But if you let him get way too far out, the end of your lead rope, then he's too far away, and then he's going to try to cheat you and look at you and all that kind of stuff, and you can't do nothing about it because he's way out there. So in the beginning, this is where I want to lunge him, right here. So I pull and release on the lead rope to keep him here with me, to soften. Now I'm ready to yield him. I'm going to grab a little tail of my lead rope with my stick hand, my fingers, slide down the lead rope, stab my belly button, and step on his tail. Get him to yield the hindquarters and give me 2 eyes. Remember, 2 eyes for respect. 2 heels lack respect. So he needs to turn and look at me. Now I don't want the horses to come all the way in. Now I let him kind of come all the way in. Because I have his respect, I can back him out whenever I want to. Change underneath the lead rope. Very important to get your hand over top of the lead rope. Make the OK sign towards the horse. Get it over top of the lead rope. Because if you do it like this here, with your thumb towards him, a lot of the other exercise is hard because we're going to keep on going where we change the stick, ask him to go, change the stick while he's still moving. So it's hard to do if you don't practice getting your hand over top of the lead rope. Point out with your little finger, and then he needs to get going up there. Like I want that front end to leave first, go away from me, and then go around. I don't want that horse to race past me. That's disrespectful because he's invading into your space. When I'm ready, I just take a step towards his hindquarters with my stick and yield that hindquarters. Give him 2 eyes, rub his face a little bit, let him know that looking at you with 2 eyes is what you ask for, is what you want. And eventually, they will strive to looking at you. They'll be hunting to looking at you. So if I just lean and look at that hip, he wants to yield and look at me because he knows he's going to get rested when he looks at me. He doesn't have to run around and lose weight. So the next exercise is the sending exercise. This exercise is very important because if we do any obstacle stuff, is have the horse go from one side of you to the other side, back and forth, back and forth. That way we can walk somewhere, we can direct the horse in between us and the scary thing, or through it, or things like that there. Or the lunging part is very good too. You have to have the lunging, and then this here just works very good with that. So I point, he's coming forward off that point, off that halter pressure, and yield his hindquarters.
There's ice and water.
Now in the beginning, this coach over here, so I'll use the fence. There we go. So using the fence is kind of like a scary object to the horse. To get close to it, they become trapped in claustrophobic feeling, like when they have to go in between there, between the fence and you, because tight, narrow spaces make the horse feel trapped in claustrophobic feeling. So I want the horse to be comfortable going through them tight spaces. Get him to relax, get him to understand it's okay. If I ask him to go through there, it's okay, it's not going to get him. But in the beginning, we start out further away, and then we get closer to it once the horse gets more comfortable. Same thing with objects and, obstacle course and stuff like that. So I point, I want him to come past me, and as soon as his tail passes my belly button and straight with the fence, I step on his tail and get his hindquarters to swing around and give me 2 eyes over on that side. I want him kind of straighten with my shoulder over here, and then I point forward, straighten with the fence. If he doesn't come, I'll raise my stick up and start tapping him. And yield. So point towards the fence, raise the stick up, and then step. Get him to yield over there. Back into my circle. I don't want to move more than I have to. I want to stay in my spot, stay in my ground. I want the horse to move more. That way I get more respect out of the horse. If I do a lot of moving around and stepping around, he's getting more respect towards me. I want to have his respect. So there we go. And then yield. Now if he's lazy here with his heel, I'll just reach forward and give him a karate chop on his hindquarters. Because I don't want him to get lazy with me, because if you let the horse get lazy and chomp you, they get worse and worse. So with a little bit of time, once they have the concept, we want to get pickier and more stricter about that horse, getting more perfection with him. That way it'll make your leadership better. Instead of just like, half you, that's okay today. Yeah, that's fine. You have to get pickier with it. You have to get better. The same as anything. You have to learn. You have to get better with stuff, and you have to get your horse better. Otherwise, he won't put any more effort into it. So that's the sending exercise. So we'll go ahead and do that and see how far we can get, how far we can go with that. And if we can't go further, we'll do other exercises, but we'll do obstacles. But once we get the exercises down, and then we'll bring some stuff in here that's scary, and then we'll work with the horses with the scary stuff. Because if you work with the scary stuff in an environment where you can kind of control them and stuff like that, once you get out on the trail and stuff like that, they have an idea of how to use their brain and start to think without just reacting. It's like, oh crap, So we have to put them in that situation and show them how to use their brains. Show them how to use the thinking side of their brain and say, oh, it's okay, just think about it. It's not going to get you and stuff like that. Another thing that's very important that we'll do some is getting the horse, make sure that they flex. So I want to flex the horse with the lead rope first before I do it with the bridle. That way when we get on the saddle, we want to flex, it's going to be a lot of flexing and one ring stops. Because that's your safety one-ring emergency handbrake stop, if you have a good one-ring stop or a flex on your horse, stuff like that, if he's heavy stiff and you try to stop him and he just keeps dragging you around because he's scared, it can get very dangerous. I've seen horses tip over because of that. So it's just slow, by the stop, by the walk, and trot, and so forth, go faster and faster. But in the beginning, I want to get the horse to understand how to flex by just standing still. So I'm going to stand back here by his hip, because if I bend his nose this way, his hip is going to go the opposite way. And if I stand back here, I'm also far enough back to let his nose come back to where the cinch is going to be, right where I want him to touch his nose, where the cinch is, or where my stirrup's going to be. And also, if he steps over here with his front foot, he doesn't step on my toe. So I slide my hands apart. I fold my lead rope over to half, like this here, hold my hand over top, slide my hands apart to get short enough by the lead rope to get his head around here. If you just try to do it like this here, see how I'm too long here? I try to get his head around, I can't get his head around. Now he flexed anyway, but I can't get his head around where I need. I want his head to come around like a couple inches from your boot or from this side, and then he needs to give the rest of the way. Once he gives a little bit, then I reward him. As soon as he gives, I reward him. I just hold my hand tight and steady like he's tied, and as soon as he gives, I reward him. That's how he learns. Slide, pick up, be nice and wait for him. Slide. If you just lock it down here, wait for him just to give a little bit. There, you give a little bit, and then I reward. And I throw the whole lead rope back to him, because I want to give him a lot of reward. If you just hang on to it a little bit, you're still having a hold of him, and you're not really rewarding him. Throw that lead rope away. Give him a lot of slack. Slide, pick up, and in the beginning, we just wait for him. If he comes, there, if he gives, I throw it back away to him again. You slide apart again. Pick up, hold your hand, lock it down. Now, if he spins around or anything, I just hug his hip and spin around with him. I just walk around with him until he stands still and gives to me. Because if you reward him and release that pressure when he's spinning around, you just rewarded him for spinning around. When you're in the saddle, you want to understand, stop, get soft. There is no spinning around, there's no running around, getting stiff. It stops and gets soft. If I pick up on that rein and release my legs, it stops and gets soft. So you have to ingrain that in your horse and in yourself to be automatically just how to do a one-ring stop very easily. So this is the beginning of it, doing on the ground with the halter. So we'll go ahead and we'll start this. And once the horse is respectful, you can teach him to do new things, different stuff. Okay, I'm going to